Pals, Kyushu92 here, bringing you the latest My Hero Academia chapter that just released today. I know I had 2 other videos beforehand, but I gotta do the one for today so we can all keep in line. Now, mind you, this hasn't been officially translated yet, so I'm reading it from Jai Mini's box. Chapter 248, One by One. And on the cover, we have Uraraka, we have Ryukyu, and we have Neijiro along with Atsui flying around on a mission. The Ryukyu team is also out on a mission. So, let's go ahead. There's a sneeze on the edge of my nose. Every time it builds up, I hate that. Alright, Deku embarks on his second internship. It's not as though I wasn't rushing. I received my quirk when I was 14. While everyone else was testing the limits of their new abilities, I was still learning the fundamentals. After learning how to control One for All with my full cowl, I forced myself to learn how to use it subconsciously. And then we cut to the guy that was in his memories, deep in the subconsciousness of One for All itself. Listen up, kid. From here on, you're going to develop 6 more quirks. The fact that he has 6 quirks in him is ridiculous. I've got to hurry up and master them all. And there's some dude riding on a motorcycle down an alleyway, and he gets knocked off by some fire from Endeavor. The hit and runner has been apprehended. Looks like you 3 were too slow. And they still can't, and because in the last chapter, the last panel shows Endeavor challenging Midoriya, Deku, and Shoto to catch a villain faster than him. And as it seems, they still ain't faster. Buzz off, it just takes me time to warm up in the winter. Hey Bakugo, did you notice? Are you saying there's something you noticed that I didn't? Go on, enlighten me. He's so petty. He was shooting fire from his feet whenever he accelerated. I'm not sure if you saw it or not, but the jet burn he used back in his fight in Kyushu is most likely done by compressing those flames to heighten his acceleration. I can tell since I have the same quirk. Controlling the heat necessary to reach speeds that fast is a monumental task. Yeah, it's a total ripoff of my explosion. Are you saying it took you until now to realize that? Yeah, sure. I suppose you could call it a ripoff. Given the fact that Endeavor's been doing this before Bakugo, yeah, ripoff. By the way, in case you 3 haven't already noticed, that path opens up into the main road. You can leave this guy to us. After all, it's pretty rare to see him teaching anyone besides Shoto. Oh, I see. You were cutting him off because you were cutting off his escape route with your flames. We'll catch up to you later. And they all just start running. Shoto's using his quirk to blast off. Bakugo's using his quirk to blast off. And Shoto, he reminds me of Iceman using his ice to slide around, but also adding jet flames to give him that significant propulsion, and then Bakugo is just using his explosion quirk to blast off, and Midori is using his full cowling to just, speed run after him. During my fight in Kyushu, I was able to split the work with Hawks, but a true hero must be someone who is able to handle every role on their own. Also, for the record, I noticed the glass villain's helpers before you. But for the record, I noticed the glass villain's helpers before you did. Got it? You're so darn petty. Bakugo, you said you wanted to learn what you couldn't, right? I'll admit that your mobility is top-notch. Well, for a rookie at least. But as you are right now, you'll never be able to surpass me. This winter might just be training, but if you're too slow, you won't be able to use your normal excuses anymore. This is not a classroom. If you're ever too slow, you won't be losing points, but rather human lives. Yo! Endeavor is schooling them. Like, there's only so much you can learn into a classroom, but it's when you're out there in the field that if you lose, that could mean a person's life that you lose out on. If you lose in a classroom, that's just a failed grade and you may have to take the test over. No detrimental loss except to your psyche and, to your overall status as a student. But in real life, as a hero, if you lose, that could mean the loss of a person's life or multiple lives all at once, or multiple casualties. So you can't He's letting them know this is not the classroom anymore. This is real life. What you do out here will matter. People's lives are on the line, and it's up to you as would-be heroes to make sure that these lives still stay intact. And he does this by showcasing that they're all too slow to catch up to a truck that was about to hit a woman on a woman and guy on the crosswalks, and he stops them before they can even get there. So speed is key. Speed is key! Shoto, Bakugo, for the time being, I'm giving you both the same assignment. Why am I always grouped together with this guy? I suppose it's related to acquiring flash fire? Storage and release. The condensation of power. The ability to momentarily draw forth your maximum power, or, alternatively, the ability to focus your power on a single point. Practice as many times as it takes, until you can achieve one of those two without even having to think about it. Kacchan, that's pretty much the core concept of your AP shot. When the heck do you know the core concept of my moves? Stay away from me! Shoto, you're already halfway to achieving both. First, let's work on focusing your power. Try taking your mental image of shaping your ice and applying it to your fire. Deku, you're already capable of momentarily drawing forth your maximum power. Let's see. And they're all just eating on a rooftop. Yes, sir! Can you do it subconsciously? I can with my full cowl, but for my Air Force, I still have to think about it. In that case, your first step will be to learn to use Air Force subconsciously. Forget about your secondary ability for now. But to do that, I need to learn how to think in parallel. And Bakugo and Shoto are just looking at him. Listen up, everyone on Earth is already capable of parallel processing on a daily basis, and subconsciously too to boot. Just look at that guy, yawning and driving at the same time. It's not like he's always known to drive. Steering, acceleration, braking, processing what's ahead of and behind him at all times. He learned each of those one by one, then practiced until he could do them all together subconsciously. So essentially, it's pretty much like me in driving. I'm able to drive, and at sometimes I'm able to daydream a little bit, even though that's kind of dangerous. I'm able to do that at the same time, and my body instinctively knows when to slow down when I'm around people, when I come to a stoplight, but I can think of other things other than driving. Not just daydreaming, let me correct myself. I can think of other things while I'm driving, and not just solely one singular thing. I can think of, on top of driving, being aware of everything around me, I can drive and think of other things, like, think of videos that I could be making, for example, or thinking what I'm going to do after I'm done with a shift, or, well, I can't really drive now, but I get the concept, being able to do two things at once without actually having to think about doing these two things at once at the same time. That's basically what Endeavor's talking about. He learned each of those one by one, then practiced until he could do them all together subconsciously. Start by learning to do two things together subconsciously. When you're done with that, add on a third. No matter how strong or powerful an ability may be, that power is built on a foundation of smaller parts, stacked on top of each other one by one. Title drop. Sure, there may be exceptions, but for the rest of us, growing one step at a time is the only path forward. At least, that's the only path I know. Even if you practice the same abilities, the experience you'll be gaining here is worlds away from what you've gained at school. Take the power you've fostered at school, and now, at the agency of the #1 hero, make that power your own. Endeavor is a surprisingly good teacher. About 1.5 years ago, I was entrusted with all too much power by All Might. Since enrolling in UA, I've gained a lot of experience, and now it looks like I'm about to be dragged forwards at a blinding speed. But my fastest possible speed. Fail as many times as you need to. Whether the three of you succeed or fail, it will have zero effect on my work as Endeavor. He's letting them know now, regardless if you succeed or fail, I'm still going to be the #1 hero and it won't affect my work at all. One by one. 1 week later. Hello. Father, I heard you're working with Shoto right now. and that he's together with his friends. Why didn't you tell me? I was so surprised when I first heard the news. In any case, I was thinking with school starting again soon, it'll be hard to get any time together, so why don't you bring everyone over to our place today? I'll make the best dinner you've ever seen. Yo! We will be on break next week. My Hero Academia will resume in issue 50 of Weekly Shonen Jump, or Weekly Jump. The end of chapter 248, an unexpected proposal from Todoroki's sister. Yo, she's proposing to bring, not Midoriya, I'm not worried about, Shoto. It's his house. Bakugo. He has no chill. So I'm kind of wondering, why are you going to bring the most brazen, most half-cocked looking dude into your house? And he has an explosion quirk. If something doesn't get blown up while they're there, I will be genuinely surprised. But this was actually a really good chapter. It shows that Endeavor has what it takes to be a good teacher, even though he doesn't behave like it. He's just letting Midoriya, Shoto, and Bakugo know that what you learned at school, you fostered something, but out here, it's time for you to cultivate it and improve on it. Midoriya, if you got a quirk that you can only work a certain way, it's time for you to push that even further until you're able to do everything that this quirk you have can do subconsciously without having to think about it. He's basically like Whis training Vegeta and Goku, telling them you need to train yourself until you're able to do it until your body's able to do it without you having to think about making your body do it. Until it's natural, instinctive for you to use your quirks and be at your fastest and be a true hero to the people in order to save lives. Because earlier he says that what you do in a classroom, whether you pass or fail, that's just something that happens in a classroom. But when you're out there in the public, when you are needed to save lives, if you fail, it's not just, oh, well, you'll do better next time. No, that could mean the life of a person or the lives of multiple people or the lives of an entire city in your hands, and it will all be on you. So, you got to take this seriously. You got to push past your limits and see just how far you can go when you're out here being a hero, because you're going to need to be fast. And he's still challenging them to be faster than him, and they still aren't catching up to him. He's faster than Midoriya, Bakugo, and Shoto, and they all have ways of being ridiculously fast, and Endeavor's just still outpacing them, showing them that you got to be fast. Above all else, as a hero, you need to be fast. Because if you're not able to get there in time, it could mean life or death. So overall, this chapter was great. This chapter was really great. Oh, I love reading it. I love reading through My Hero Academia so much. From taking a break from doing One Piece all the time and reading something else, it's therapeutic for me. Doing all this is therapeutic, if it isn't already obvious. But let me know what you guys thought of this chapter as a whole. I thought it was great, and it shows just how well of a teacher Endeavor can really be. Even though he can be a bit brazen and blunt with his words, he's telling them the truth, and I'm hoping that Bakugo's saying that he's here at his agency to find out what he's missing. So I hope Bakugo learns some humility without it sacrificing his character. Though I highly doubt that that's going to happen as far as sacrificing his character is concerned. So, like I said, let me know what you guys thought of this chapter. I thought it was great. With that being said, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in the next video. So have a fantastic day. And once again, as always, later, peoples.